isn't it?
John Moffat as Hercule Poirot and Simon Williams as Captain Hastings in Agatha Christie's Lord Edgware Dies. Lord Edgware has been murdered at his house in Regent Gate, and Inspector Japp suspects Lady Edgware of the crime.
I came round as quickly as I could, Monsieur Poirot. What a terrible business, though I can't say I'm surprised. You remember what I said about her yesterday?
I remember perfectly. That is why I asked you to come. I thought it might interest Inspector Japp, who is in charge of the case.
It certainly does.
Oh, good Lord, you should have warned me.
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Martin. You're not on oath.
So, she's really done it at last?
I did not say so.
But you said that Edgware had been murdered.
And the moment I tell you that, you jump to the conclusion that it is she who has murdered him.
But didn't she? You mean to say she had nothing to do with it?
Oh, no, Mr. Martin. She did it right enough. So I'd be grateful if you'd tell me what you know.
Jane isn't really responsible for her actions. She has no sense of right and wrong.
That will be for the jury to decide. Have you ever heard her utter threats against her husband?
Oh, yes. Several times.
What did she say?
She said that if he didn't give her her freedom, she'd have to bump him off. That was the way she put it.
Why was she so desperate to be free of Lord Edgware?
She wanted to marry another man.
Any idea who?
Oh, yes. It was the Duke of Merton.
She doesn't do things by halves, does she? He must be one of the richest men in England. But Edgware wouldn't give her a divorce?
No, he wouldn't hear of it.
I am afraid that you are wrong, my dear young man. I saw Lord Edgware yesterday, and he agreed to a divorce.
He agreed?
That is what I said.
But why didn't you tell Jane? You might have prevented a terrible tragedy.
Oh, but I did tell her. It rather impairs the motive, does it not? And there is something else that you should know. According to this morning's paper, at the time of the murder she was dining with Sir Montague Corner at his house in Chiswick.
Oh, they generally print those things in advance. That won't help her. Jane didn't go to that dinner.
How do you know, Mr. Martin?
Someone told me. I forget who it was.
But you would surely agree that the case against Jane Wilkinson revolts the intelligence.
It doesn't revolt mine.
No, here is a lady who wishes to get rid of her husband, so how does she go about it? She tells everybody that she is thinking of killing him. She then goes round to his house, tells the butler who she is, stabs her husband, and goes away. What do you call that?
It was a bit foolish, I admit.
Foolish? It is imbecile.
Well, if criminals lose their heads and make it easy for us, I'm not going to complain. I must go to the Savoy. My men are holding Lady Edgware there.
May Hastings and I come with you?
I've never been able to prevent you before.
Monsieur Poirot, Captain Hastings, how good of you both to come along. Tell me, Captain, what do you think?
What do I think?
Of the hat.
Oh.
No, I can see you don't like it. Let's try another one, Alice.
This one, madam.
No, I hate black. I never wear it. Let's try that one. I'm so glad you're both here. The police seem to think that somehow or other I bumped off George while I was having dinner with Monty Corner. Idiotic, isn't it?
Could you tell us exactly what did happen last night, Lady Edgware?
The dinner was at 8:30. I dropped in at the Piccadilly Palace to say goodbye to a friend of mine who was leaving for the States. Mrs. Van Dusen.
Mrs. Van Dusen.
No, Alice, this one is a disaster. I must have got to Monty's at around 9.
And what time did you leave?
About 11:30.
You came straight back here?
Yes.
And you didn't leave the dinner party at any time?
Well, as it happens...
You did leave it?
There was a telephone call while I was at dinner.
Who called you?
I haven't the faintest idea. I presume it was some sort of hoax. Someone said, "Is that Lady Edgware?" And I said, "That's right," and whoever it was laughed and rang off.
And how long were you away from the dinner table?
About a minute and a half. Hardly time for me to drive all the way across London and bump off George. Why don't you ring up Monty? He'll confirm what I say.
That's exactly what I intend to do, this very moment, Lady Edgware.
What a stupid oath. It's just as well I changed my mind about that party.
How do you mean, madame, you changed your mind?
I had the most frightful headache yesterday afternoon. I thought I'd give it a miss.
And did you say so to anyone?
I expect I did. There was quite a crowd of us having tea.
And what made you change your mind?
Ellis did. Didn't you, Ellis?
I said that Sir Montague was too influential a person to turn down. He's in a position to pull a lot of financial strings where her ladyship is concerned.
Of course, when I marry Merton, I'll be through with all that sort of thing.
Nevertheless, I think you should be very grateful to Ellis.
Oh, I am. God knows where I'd be if I hadn't gone.
Unless 14 people are lying, she didn't do it.
Wouldn't you say that was moderately conclusive?
I thought it was going to be some kind of put-up job. Who else would want to kill Edgware? She's the only person who's got the ghost of a motive.
A ghost that has been laid, Inspector.
I thought the people she'd get to confirm her alibi would be the usual theatrical crowd, and you know what value I would put on that. But the people at that dinner party were all pretty big guns, none of them close friends of hers. They say she was there all the time, and they all confirmed the business of the telephone call to the letter.
Was it a man or a woman who rang?
A woman, I think she said.
And what about her getting back to the Savoy?
Again, it's exactly as she said.
Do we know who comes into the title?
A nephew, Captain Marsh. A bit of a black sheep by all accounts. And Edgware's daughter obviously stands to benefit.
And has the doctor arrived at a precise time for the death?
We'll have to wait for the autopsy. But around 10 o'clock seems reasonable. Edgware was last seen alive just after 9 when he left the dinner table and the butler took him whiskey and soda into the study. At 11 o'clock, when the butler went up to bed, the study light was out, so he presumed he was in bed. He wouldn't have been sitting in the dark.
But if it wasn't Lady Edgware who came to the house that night, who the devil was it? And why should the butler and the secretary be so certain it was her?
That's precisely what I cannot understand. The butler positively identified her. Admittedly, he's only been there for 6 months. But the secretary's been in Edgware's service for 6 years or more.
It is indeed very curious.
I'm going to Regent Gate now to have a word with them. Would you care to come with me, gentlemen?
I'd take my oath it was Lady Edgware, sir.
What makes you so certain?
She told me her name, and besides, I've seen her picture in the papers, and I've seen her on the stage, and in the cinema.
Can you tell us how she was dressed?
In black, sir. Black walking dress and a small black hat, a string of pearls and grey gloves.
Black, a colour she never wore.
Well done, Hastings. Now, how was the lady at Chiswick dressed, Inspector?
White taffeta evening dress and ermine wrap.
Tell me, how was the front door fastened?
Oh, it's a Yale lock. I usually draw the bolts when I go to bed at 11. But last night Miss Geraldine had gone to the opera, so I left it unbolted.
And how was it this morning when you came down?
It was bolted, sir. I heard Miss Geraldine come in at about 1 o'clock.
So the door could not be opened without a key. How many keys were there?
I'm not certain, sir. There was his lordship's, of course, and there was a key in the hall drawer, which Miss Geraldine took with her last night.
I think that'll be all for the present. Can you tell the secretary, what's her name?
Miss Carroll, sir.
Could you tell Miss Carroll we'd like to have a word with her?
Of course I'm sure it was her. I saw her.
Where were you, mademoiselle?
On the stairs, looking down.
And you are positive you are not mistaken?
Absolutely certain. Her features are quite unmistakable, and it was her voice.
According to the butler, there were 2 keys to the front door. Lord Edgware's and a key that was kept in the hall drawer. Were there any others?
I don't have one. I always ring when I come. But there was another key that belonged to Captain Marsh.
Did Captain Marsh come to the house very often?
Not for the last 3 years.
And why was that?
I believe he had quarrelled with his uncle.
Can you tell us what about?
I don't listen to gossip, Inspector.
We are investigating a murder, Miss Carroll.
Captain Marsh was careless with money. I believe he'd got into debt. And there was some other trouble. I don't know exactly what. Whatever it was, Lord Edgware forbade the captain the house. That's all I know.
Thank you, Miss Carroll.
If you've finished with me, I would like to go downstairs to the study.
We'll follow you down, Miss Carroll. I'd like to show Monsieur Poirot the scene of the crime.
Hastings, a little minute. I will go down with the inspector. Watch until we have gone into the study, and then join us there.
Whatever you say.
As I told you, there's nothing very much in the way of clues. Not the kind you find in detective stories.
No footprints, no ladies' gloves, no traces of lingering perfume. Real life is not very obliging.
I did what you asked, Poirot.
Ah, and what did you see?
What was I supposed to see?
Did you notice, for instance, the rose I was carrying between my teeth?
You'll be the death of me, Poirot. Are you thinking of going on as Carmen at Covent Garden?
You didn't notice it, Hastings?
No, I couldn't see your face from where I was standing.
Ah. Miss Carroll?
Yes, what is it?
You said you were standing on the stairs when you saw Lady Edgware go along the hall to the study.
Yes, that's right.
And you saw her face distinctly.
Well, that's what I said.
But you could not have seen her face from where you were standing.
Well, what does it matter? I heard her voice. I saw her walk down the hall. Of course it was Lady Edgware.
She's got a point, you know, Poirot. She heard her voice, she recognised the way she walked. Two of the most characteristic things about a person.
Exactly so, Hastings. And therefore they are the most easily counterfeited. Do you recollect that only a few nights ago we were watching
Carlotta Adams impersonating Jane Wilkinson? Surely that would be too much of a coincidence.
Well, that depends how you look at it, my friend. Regarded from a different angle, it would be no coincidence at all.
Oh, you're letting your imagination run away with you. Why on earth should Carlotta Adams want to kill Lord Edgware? She didn't even know him.
How do you know that? But that was not what I was thinking. Let us put a few facts together. Come, we will sit upon that bench. Now, Lady Edgware talks openly of killing her husband. Brian Martin was there when she said it. So was Carlotta Adams.
Surely.
Patience, my friend. On the same evening, everyone is talking of Carlotta Adams' impersonation of Lady Edgware. Now, supposing someone other than his wife has a reason to get rid of Lord Edgware. On the day of the murder, Jane announces that she has a headache and is going to have a quiet evening alone. A scapegoat for the murder is ready at hand. Lady Edgware must be seen to enter the house at the Regent Gate. Well, she is seen by the butler and the secretary. She even goes so far as to announce her identity. C'est un peu trop ça. It would awaken suspicion in an oyster.
You mean that Carlotta Adams announced herself as Lady Edgware?
Remember that the woman who came to Regent Gate was wearing black. And Jane Wilkinson never wears black.
Well, even so, I can't see Carlotta Adams killing Lord Edgware.
Then did someone else enter that house before or after the supposed visit of Lady Edgware? And if it was Carlotta Adams, how did she explain her presence to Lord Edgware? She might have deceived the butler and Miss Carroll, but she could not deceive Edgware himself. Or was he already dead before she entered the house?
Oh, stop it, Poirot, stop it. You're making my head spin.
No, my friend. We are only considering possibilities. It is like trying on the clothes, huh? Does this fit? No, it wrinkles on the shoulder. This one? Yes, that is better, but not quite large enough. So on and so on, until we reach the perfect fit, the truth.
So, who do you suspect at present?
Oh, it's far too early to say. One must go into the question of who had a motive for wishing Lord Edgware dead. Well, there is, of course, the nephew who inherits. Little obvious, perhaps. And then there is the question of enemies.
Well, I imagine there are quite a number of those.
Whoever it was must have fancied himself pretty safe. Remember, Hastings, but for her change of mind at the last minute, Jane Wilkinson would have had no alibi. She would have been arrested, tried, probably hanged. But there is one thing that puzzles me.
What is that?
Obviously the criminal wished to incriminate her. But what was the purpose of the telephone call to her at Montague Corners? Why did someone ring her up at Chiswick and, once satisfied of her presence there, immediately ring off? It looks as though someone wanted to be certain that she was there before proceeding to... To what? To the murder? But that would mean that the murderer wished to be certain that she had an alibi.
When you'd imagine that he'd be trying to incriminate her.
Exactly, Hastings. There must be a reason for it. But what?
Well, I really can't understand how Carlotta Adams came to be involved in it at all. She seems such a thoroughly nice girl.
I do not think she committed the murder, Hastings. She is too cool and level-headed for that. Possibly she was not even told that murder would be done. Possibly she... Oh my God, Hastings. I have been blind. A taxi at once.
Oh, what on earth you...
There is no time to waste. Taxi!
Taxi!
Do you know her address?
Carlotta Adams, you mean? Yes,
we
I
must
do.
be quick. Every second is vital.
Yes? What can I do for you?
Miss Carlotta Adams lives here. Can we speak with her?
But you haven't heard.
Heard what?
Miss Adams is dead.
Oh, no.
She passed away in her sleep.
Oh, too late.
Forgive me asking, sir, but are you a friend of hers?
Obviously you called the doctor. What did he say?
He said she must have taken an overdose of her sleeping draught. Veronal, I think he said it was.
I must come in.
Well, I hardly...
My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective, and this is my colleague, Captain Hastings.
How do you do?
I have to inquire into the circumstances of your mistress's death.
Of course. Come in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, what is your name?
Bennett. Alice Bennett.
Now, Miss Bennett, will you be so good as to tell us what happened?
I took her tea in at the usual time, 9:30, and she was still asleep. Well, that's what I thought. I noticed there was something not quite natural about the way she was lying. I touched her hand. It was ice cold.
It must have been a terrible shock for you.
Yes, sir, it was.
Now, was she in the habit of taking sleeping tablets?
She'd take something for a headache now and again, but it must have been some other stuff she took last night, or so the doctor said.
Did anyone come and visit her last night?
No, sir. She went out about 7 o'clock.
And can you tell me how she was dressed?
She was wearing a black dress, sir, and a black hat.
Mm-hmm. And did she wear any jewellery?
Just the string of pearls she always wore.
And gloves? Grey gloves?
Yes, sir. Her gloves were grey.
And can you tell me what her manner was when she went out? Was she excited, nervous?
I can tell you one thing. She was smiling to herself as though she was pleased with something.
What time did she return?
A little after 12 o'clock.
And what was her manner then?
She was terribly tired, but I could tell she was pleased about something. She started to ring someone up on the telephone, and then she said she couldn't be bothered. She'd do it in the morning.
Ah. And did you hear the name of the person she rang up?
No, sir. But it was a Victoria number, I remember that.
Now, tell me, this little attaché case, did Miss Adams take it out with her last night?
She took it out in the morning. She didn't have it when she came back at tea time, but she brought it back last night.
Ah, that is very interesting. You permit that I open it?
Certainly, sir.
You see, Hastings?
A wig of golden hair and a pair of grey gloves.
Do you doubt now, my friend?
No, I don't.
Now, do you know with whom Miss Adams dined yesterday evening, Miss Bennett?
No, sir. But I believe she had lunch with Miss Driver.
Miss Driver?
They were great friends. Miss Driver has a hat shop in Moffat Street. It's called Genevieve.
Now, one thing more, mademoiselle. Can you remember anything Miss Adams said or did after she came in at 6 o'clock that strikes you as particularly significant?
I can't really say that I can, sir. She was writing letters until she went out.
Do you by any chance know to whom she was writing?
Yes, sir. It was just one letter, really, to her sister in Washington. She wrote her twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
She took the letter out with her in the evening to post, but she forgot it and brought it back with her.
Then it is still here?
No, sir. I posted it. She remembered it last night, just as she was getting into bed.
I see. Is the body still here?
Yes, sir. Would you like to see her, sir?
I would. Thank you.
Through here, sir. There she is. Beautiful, isn't she? As if she didn't have a care in the world.
I make a vow, Hastings. I will bring the killer to justice. Well, there is one thing off my mind at least. I could not have saved her. By the time I heard of Lord Edgware's murder, she was already dead. Yes, that comforts me a little. Miss Bennet?
Yes, sir.
I would be greatly obliged if you would give me the name and address of the doctor you summoned.
Dr. Heath, 17 Carlisle Street.
It's such a stupid waste. I suppose these theatre girls think it's fashionable to take drugs.
She was an addict, you think?
It doesn't look like it. There were no marks of a needle. I don't suppose she took Veronal every night, but she'd evidently been on it for some time.
What makes you think so?
I found this little box among her things.
Quite an expensive little trinket. Gold with her initials in rubies.
And full of Veronal. Do you see what's written inside?
C.A. from D. Paris, November the 10th. Sweet dreams.
November the 10th.
Exactly. And we're now in June. That seems to show that she'd been in the habit of taking the stuff for at least 6 months.
Paris. D.
I suppose you want to know if it's suicide. Well, I can't tell you. Nobody can. It looks like an accident, and in my opinion, that's what it is. Veronal's tricky stuff.
Well, that seemed pretty conclusive.
I will not believe it, Hastings. It is too convenient. It was not suicide. No, she played her part, and in doing so she signed her death warrant. Veronal may have been chosen because it was known that she occasionally took it and that she had the box in her possession. That means that the murderer must have been someone she knew very well.
The mysterious D, perhaps.
I would give a good deal to know who that D was. I think we should take another taxi.
Where to now?
To Miss Adams' old friend, Miss Driver.
I just can't believe it. Yesterday she was so full of life, so excited.
Can you tell us why, mademoiselle?
Well, she wouldn't tell me anything definite. Said she'd promised not to. But she'd got something on. Something in the nature of a gigantic hoax.
A hoax?
That's what she said. Only Carlotta's not the kind of person who goes in for that sort of thing as a rule. Somebody had obviously put her up to it. And I suspect, though she didn't say so...
What do you suspect?
I thought that money was involved. My impression was that she'd taken on something for a bet and that she was pretty sure of winning.
She did not actually say so?
Not in so many words. But I got the impression that she stood to gain quite a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
She hinted that she'd be able to do this, that and the other in the near future. She was going to get her sister over from America to meet her in Paris. She was crazy about her little sister. Very delicate, I believe. And there was something else that struck me as odd.
What was that, mademoiselle?
She bought a new hat from me yesterday.
Was that particularly unusual?
No, but it was the kind of hat she bought that was unusual. She wanted one to shade the left side of her face.
Ah, and hats at present are worn on the right side of the head.
Yes. Well, it struck me at the time. Why should she want to cover the left side of her face?
Poirot, Jane Wilkinson has a tiny mole at the corner of her left eye.
Vous avez parfaitement raison, Hastings. Yes. That explains the purchase of the hat.
Well, I'm glad it makes sense to you. Well, that's all I can tell you, I think. Is that what you wanted to know?
Yes, it confirms my theory. I had hoped I'd meet for more. I had anticipated that Miss Adams would have been bound to secrecy, but I had hoped that being a woman she would not have counted revealing the secret to her best friend.
Well, I tried to make her tell me, but she only laughed and said she'd tell me about it one day.
Tell me, was Miss Adams in the habit of taking veronal?
Not that I know. Is that what they say killed her? Well, I never saw her take it, and she never spoke of it.
Did you ever see in her bag a small gold box with the initials CA on it in rubies?
No, never. It sounds pretty flashy. Carlotta didn't go in for flashy things.
Do you happen to know where Miss Adams was last November?
Well, she went back to the States at the end of November. Before that, I think she was in Paris.
Alone?
Of course she was alone. She wasn't the week-ending sort, if that's what you're driving at.
Do you know any friend of hers whose initial is D?
D? No, I can't think of anyone. Apart from myself, that is.
Can you tell me whether there was any man that Miss Adams was specially interested in?
Ever since I've known her, Carlotta's been entirely wrapped up in her work and in her kid sister. She's an invalid, you know. So the answer's no, strictly speaking.
And, not so strictly speaking?
Well, I shouldn't wonder if, lately, Carlotta hadn't been getting interested in some man. She's been different. Not exactly dreamy. Abstracted. I can't explain. It's the sort of thing another woman just feels. And, of course, may be quite wrong about.
Do you happen to know whether Miss Adams was acquainted with Brian Martin, the film actor?
Oh, it wouldn't have been him. She didn't think much of him. She thought him dreadfully conceited.
Oh, she knew him then?
She used to know him as a child, I think. But that's all.
Does the name of Lord Edgware mean anything to you?
The man who was murdered?
The same. Do you know if Miss Adams was acquainted with him?
I don't think so. I'm sure she wasn't. But...
Yes, mademoiselle?
Well, she did speak of him once. Very bitterly.
Bitterly?
She said that men like that shouldn't be allowed to ruin other people's lives by their cruelty and lack of understanding. She said that he was the kind of man whose death would probably be a good thing for everybody.
When did she say this?
About a month ago, I think.
How did the subject come up?
Well, I can't remember. But I thought it was odd that Carlotta should be so vehement when she didn't even know the man. But are you implying that she was somehow mixed up in his murder?
It begins to look very likely, mademoiselle.
And is that why she's dead?
I am certain of it.
In Part 2 of Lord Edgware Dies by Agatha Christie, dramatised for radio by Michael Bakewell, Hercule Poirot was played by John Moffat and Captain Hastings by Simon Williams. Jane Wilkinson, Nicola Paget, Inspector Jack, Norman Jones, Ellis, Paula Jacobs, Brian Martin, Brett Usher, Miss Carroll, Eva Stewart, Jenny Driver, Adjoa Ando, Dr. Heath, Timothy Carlton, Edgware's butler, Clarence Smith, Alice, Oriel Smith.